When I started this journey back in March 2020, I had this goal, this idea in my head that by January 2022, I'd be in a position to start to be able to produce the video content that I needed to produce. It all went well for 22 months. I'll just stop for a second and recap. Why that long and why this target? Well, quite simply, I have a blood cancer, follicular lymphoma, and it means that I'm immunocompromised, which means that if I catch COVID, it will be a very, very serious, probably fatal thing for me. So back in March 2020, when the pandemic hit, I had to give up work, and I've literally had to stay away from people for 22 months now. A virtual prisoner in my own home, only going out for hospital appointments and things like that. I mean, I haven't seen I've got 4 kids and 11 grandchildren. I haven't seen them all together at once since March 2020. And I can't go out, I can't socialise, can't go to the pub, I can't go to restaurants. I've done nothing like that since March 2020. I've had a one-night break away with some friends up north, and I've had 4 days on the Isle of Wight. But even then, we had to social distance and keep away from people, and it wasn't fun. So that's been my life for 22 months. When I gave up working, I thought, how can I occupy myself and at the same time possibly earn myself some income? So I thought about it, and I thought, well, video and TikTok and things like that and YouTube seem to be a market, and I've got all the equipment. I have sound recording equipment, I have cameras, I have a powerful editing PC, or a powerful PC capable of editing, so maybe this is something I can do, but what can I do? And I thought about it for a little while, and I thought, well, one of my hobbies is that I like making models. Airfix, Tamiya, Rebel kits, those plastic kit type things. I like making those, and what I thought I would do is I'd make a whole series of how-tos on a model build. So I'd actually build the model and I would record it as I was going along and put the video out there. And anything else that interested me, because I figure, the way I figure it, I don't take a lot of notice of YouTube's algorithm. The way I figure it is that if something interests me enough to film it, then somebody out there also wants to know about it. So I make that in that respect. So if I'm interested in it, you're interested in it. So I happen to know that other people are interested in making models. And I must admit that before I built some of my models, I did look at a few how-to things when I'm building a model that I've never built before, because it gives me a good clue in which direction I want to go and how I want to build it. So I thought I would give something back or pay it forward by doing the same sort of thing. So that's my idea. So I started to think about it. I thought, what do I need to do? Well, I need to know how to put a video. I need to know how to edit a video. That's something. So I signed up for a college course to do Adobe Premiere. And part of the college course was that I managed to get the educational discount for the entire Adobe Creative Suite. So I started looking at other programs like Adobe Audition and Adobe After Effects. And I thought, well, hang on, it's not just about editing the video together, putting the bits of the video together. It's about making the titles, making the chirons, the overlays and alpha channels and green screen effects like I'm doing here. And everything else. So it's a bit more complex. So I'm going to have to take a bit of time to learn. So I did this college course, and then I did another one on After Effects. And when I've done those, I then did some e-learning courses on Premiere and After Effects. To the stage now where I am, I'm fairly efficient with Premiere. I know what I want to do with Premiere, and I know how to achieve it. So I thought, well, okay. Alongside the model videos, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some videos on how-tos, tutorials on the issues I've come across myself with Premiere that I don't know, that I've had to learn from the bottom up. Because bear in mind, prior to March 2020, I had no idea, no grounding at all in motion graphics, in anything like that. So I've had to learn these things pretty much from the bottom upwards, and because I've had no education, I didn't learn any of this at school, I've learned none of this in my working life. It's been a bit of a struggle, so I've really struggled to do it, but there's been things that I've come across that I've really had to research to find out how to do, which are probably simple things for people that have a grounding in them, but they're not me. So it occurred to me that yes, that's something else that I need to be able to share with people. So alongside the model videos, I'm going to do the how-to videos. And I've started to do. I've actually produced my first one, and it's up on YouTube, and it's how to green screen, which is what I'm doing with my green screen behind me now. This might be the most simplest thing in the world to people, but for me it was an absolute nightmare. I had to learn it from the bottom upwards to be able to. I knew in my head what I wanted to achieve, and then I had to go out and learn it. And because I've had to go out and learn it, it took me weeks. But I've managed to condense it down into a couple of minutes, which might help somebody else that was struggling like me. So, and again with After Effects, I'm gradually getting to grips with After Effects. I thought I'll do the same with that. The same with Audition. With Audacity, my two programs that I use for editing sound. I thought, yeah, let's do that. Let's have a go with that. So I'm finally at a stage where I felt that I was proficient enough with all of the software that I use and the cameras that I've got to be able to produce my first video. So I did my first video, and I was a bit disappointed with it. It really wasn't that much of a disappointment. It's a first video, and I thought, well, I'm going to leave it up. It's going to stay up. I did some tutorials about a year back on DaVinci Resolve, because people asked me specific questions about DaVinci Resolve. I'm in a dashcam group, and a lot of people with dashcams want to edit their footage, and they've asked me things like, how do I blur number plates, and how do I cut out audio, and how do I replace swear words, or how do I put a soundtrack down, or how do I put little emojis in my video. So because they don't want to pay, DaVinci Resolve is a good program, it's free, but I personally can't get on with the I forget what it's called now, but it's the After Effects part of DaVinci Resolve, where you put all the blocks together. The concept just went way over my head, but I can manage After Effects, so I prefer that. But I did a couple of DaVinci Resolve tutorials on things like that, and I think I did one on Premiere when I was first learning it, about how to blur out license plates with masks. They weren't very good. They weren't a polished product. They weren't what I wanted to do to release to the general public, but I put them up there because they were for the people that asked me the specific questions. But going forward from January 2022, I decided that I'd put them up there from the general public. Now, YouTube has an algorithm. We all know YouTube has an algorithm, okay? And people are out there trying to make money on YouTube. I'm not. Yes, I would like to make money eventually, but that's not my immediate goal. I'm not going to sit here and think, I'm going to make these videos and I'm going to make a fortune overnight and become the next YouTube sensation. No, I'm going to do it a different way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the content up onto YouTube first. And the content is going to be exactly as I've said it's going to be. It's going to be my model making, which part one is I'm building one at the moment, an all metal model, which is a new project for me. And Christ, do I cut that up, son. Yeah, that's in the video. That's going to be a new project for me. And I've already got part one of the video up there. I've got about 100 hours of footage to edit for part two. So that's already up there. The first YouTube tutorial is up there on green screen chroma key. And that's where I want to go forward, as well as anything else that interests me. And I've got some ideas in my head about some videos I'm going to make when the weather's a bit warmer, because right now I don't want to go outside and freeze my tits off. I don't need to be around people for the ideas that I've got, thankfully. So I can do them, but I don't want to freeze my tits off doing them. I'm also going to video things that interest me as well. Like another video I put up there this month is a journey. I need to use a wheelchair when I'm because of my health conditions. I need to use a wheelchair when I'm outside. I've got an electric wheelchair, so I actually videoed a recent journey in my video in my wheelchair, and I figured that I might continue to video all those journeys. They might not interest masses, but there could be some people out there that are interested, and also it'll give you a perspective of some of the problems that a wheelchair user actually faces out there. And you wouldn't believe some of the problems we actually have and how rude and ignorant people some people can be. But that's coming in the future. Why am I saying this now? Why am I here now doing this? Right. Well, I've come to an impasse. I've come to a point where I've looked at my videos and I've started looking at other people's videos, and I thought, fucking hell, mine aren't anywhere near the polished product that theirs are. And I've got a project that I'm working on, which is video and audio syncing in Premiere. Now, I'm actually recording this three ways. I'm recording it on the camera, on the microphone on the camera. I'm recording it with my boom mic, and down there, which you can't see, I've got a Tascam DR40X PCM linear recorder, which is also recording it. The reason being is that I've got 3 different audio sources that I can choose from, and out of the 3 of them, I'm going to pick the one that gives this video the best voice. My cancer has affected my vocal cords, making my voice a bit hoarse and croaky. So I know that my voice isn't 100% perfect. So I've got 3 different audio sources recording, and I'm going to pick which one I can manipulate to give me the best possible audio for this clip by the time you see it. So I thought, well, actually, people might want to learn about that, how to sync audio and video, because it's not just a simple matter of moving the timelines. Oh no, I thought it was. No. Sometimes you've got to make tiny adjustments to the nth degree. And you can't seem to, there's no way in the docs that I could find out to seem to do it easily. And it took me a couple of weeks to discover there is a way that I can move the timelines just a fraction. I mean, we're talking a fraction, we're talking 1/100th of a second. There is a way of doing it, and I learned about it, and I couldn't find docs for it anywhere, but I learned about it, and so I'm going to share that with people. I sat down to make this video. I fucked it up from beginning to end. Because my biggest problem is that I keep the idea up here, and then I immediately sit down and try and translate it to a video. And it's wrong. And that's not how you do it. And that's something that I'm missing. And this is something I should have known back in March 2020. What I haven't got is a grounding in video production. And to me, production is a simple thing. It's the idea of getting what's in here to what you can see. Okay, it's the mechanics of between the two. So it's not only just putting the film together, it's how to edit it, it's the camera angles, but it's also the flow, how it all goes. You can't just think about it in your head, because when I sat down to record this thing, I realised that for this video on syncing how to, I'm going to have to record 4 different audio tracks and 4 different piece to camera. I've learned this piece to camera, I'll come to that. 4 different piece to cameras, or face cam. I'm going to have to learn 4 different ones, and then I'm going to have to put them together and do a 5th one, superimposed green screen over the top for a narration. And I kept getting it wrong, and I kept starting and stopping recordings, and I couldn't get it right, because the reason being is because in my head, that's my flowchart. I've not written it down anywhere, I've not committed it to paper. So I thought, why am I not getting this right? And that's the reason. So I signed up for another online course. I actually did that today. And I signed up for another online course. And it was a course in video production. And I started watching it, and I was 45 minutes into the first lesson. And the guy said to me, he said, the most important thing anybody that's got an idea for a video can do is you need to storyboard it. No, what? He said, you need to storyboard it. You need to work out a flowchart. You need to have it committed to paper. It doesn't have to be a visual storyboard. It can be an audio storyboard. It can be a keep it note. It can be stick it notes on your monitor. But what it is you must have a progression chart showing you what you're going to be doing, how you're going to be doing it, and how you're going to get to the final version. You can't just work in your head. You've got to have this flowchart, storyboard, whatever you want to call it. It's a logical step of how you're working through your video. So you write down, you first say scene 1, opener, intro. Scene 2, first scene with Tascam audio. Scene 3, first scene with boom mic. Scene 4, first scene with camera mic. Scene 5, voiceover narration. Scene 6, screen capture of software. Scene 7, superimposing narration over the screen capture of the software. Scene 8, putting it all together into a single film. Scene 9, doing an outro. And then you've got titles, intro, outro, overlays. You've got YouTube, please subscribe, lower third alphas to do, and also captions and motion graphics where you need to emphasise something along the way. And you've got to go back and look at each of these steps, and you've got to put those steps in and think, that will actually go in there at that step, and write it down. So that's what I've learned today, that I need to get some sort of flow. And that's shown me that in just the first lesson, just 45 minutes into the lesson, because I had no grounding in video production at all, this is something I should have done first before I started on the software. So I'm back here in January 2022 again. Right at the beginning, I've got to go back to school. You know, when I was 17, I thought I left school forever. No, I've got to go back to school again. And I've got to start learning again. I've got to learn from the ground up. So this is now put my project back by, I don't know, another 3 months. However, I think I'm in the position where I can actually start to produce some watchable content. This is watchable content. At least I think it's watchable content. I hope you're still watching. I hope I haven't pulled the pants off of you and you've gone off and, I don't know, had a beer or something. But I think this is watchable content. And that's where I am now. So my channel's still going to be very eclectic and it's still going to be very jittery, but I'm hoping that as I go along, each new release or video is going to be a bit more polished than the last one. It's going to look a bit better. I've got better camera angles, I'm doing better production, I'm doing better editing, and I'm learning as I'm going along, but I can't believe how little I know about production. What else did I learn today? Yeah, face cam. I learned about face cam. I learned about nodding heads. All right, when you're interviewing people, I didn't know this. And when you think about it, it's logical, right? This is something I didn't know. When you're actually interviewing people, you know, you've got one person there and one person there looking at each other, and you get a cutaway. Cutaways something I learned today, and you get the interviewer nodding. What I didn't realise is that's not probably filmed at the time of the interview. The interview's not nodding at the interview. That's probably filmed afterwards. After the interviewer has gone away, the interviewer is sitting in the chair and he's just filming nodding heads. And they just cut it in at certain points so that the camera switches from person A to the interviewer acting like they're interested, because they can't be interested at the time of the interview because it's a one-take live thing. That's it, the interview's over. So you actually go back and you cut the nodding in at certain points to make it look like the interviewer's interested. I didn't know that. But when you think about it, yeah, that's what happens all the time. It's little things like this that I've got to learn. And that's camera cuts. Also learned something like, it's going on about the hero shot. Now, I'm not quite sure what a hero shot is. All right? I thought hero was a camera, but apparently it's a shot to set up a scene. And B-rolls, I mean, are they like Swiss rolls or chocolate rolls? I don't know. I've got to learn about them because I need to learn to put them into production to give something a more polished effect. So that's it. I've waffled on long enough now, and that's where I am. So that's where I am going forward. So hopefully you'll stick with me, and hopefully you'll see some more content from me, which is a bit more coherent than this ramble that I've just done. Anyway, latest.